Hello everybody and welcome to another third-party review. In today's video, thanks to the team over at Heat Toy, we're taking a look at a slightly ahead of schedule version of the Lemon Tree Optimus Prime. Straight off the bat, if this really is their first release, which they're advertising it to be, then they have done a sensational job. It looks and feels outstanding, especially for the size. Yep. The size. On the offset, you would think this is a large figure, but it unfortunately is not. We are looking at kind of a deluxe to small Voyager. It reminds me very much of something like the War Within, that sort of thing, but he does look sensational. Now, like I said, this is a pre-production sample. So some of the things may change slightly, but I think it's pretty much there. I think this is what we're going to get. Taking a 360-degree look at him, they've really managed to capture his on-screen likeness. In my opinion, for something as small as is, I don't know what's harder to kind of over-engineer a bigger piece or over-engineer a kind of smaller piece. I guess it's all to do with scaling down, etc. But this does look absolutely sublime. I love the fact that it comes with its own base. The base itself is kind of an interchangeable thing. It's got lots of connections, so we can connect it up to other bases that they no doubt will release. It's a very kind of Cybertronian-esque texture as well, and I love the fact that he kind of comes across with this kind of battle-worn, kind of smoked look to all of his standard pieces. There's not a bland inch on him at all. He is jam-packed with articulation, jam-packed with paint apps, and a remarkable little piece. Highly recommended, even if you just get him for his robot mode. But the problem lies, where are we going to put him in our collections? Even though I place him so highly on my Prime loving pedestal, he still only sits at just over 6 inches. That's a little under 16 centimeters. To put that out there visually, he's a small little bot. That's the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Prime there. He's a diddler. Now, scale aside, look at this. Magnets built in to the bottom of the feet and on the base as well to avoid him toppling over. Not that he would, but what a fantastic little safety feature. Also comes in remarkably handy if you want to kind of spice things up a little bit and have the pose a little bit more dynamic. This is where it starts to really amaze me. Those intricate levels of detailing. Considering the size of the head, that's my thumb. They've done a remarkable job. Love that torso section, and we've got a lot of die cast in the legs here. If anything, possibly too much, because it does affect that leg swinging down there. I mean, it's actually a double hinge on the leg, so we can go up, forwards, out, and backwards as well. But it's still a lot of die cast in this section. Haven't they done a sublime job? The head can look up, down, left and right. We can quizzically tilt side to side just. It is on this kind of peg, and the ball is mounted on the inside of the head, so it's a rather odd setup, but it works nonetheless. Shoulders are on a butterfly hinge, so they can come forwards and backwards. They can come all the way around. They come out to the side. They hinge out of that arm. There's an upper bicep rotation. Got not one, but 2 bends on those arms. We've got pivot on the wrist. The fists are actually a fixed unit and they are pegged. They're made of a kind of rubbery texture with paint overlay. We have waist rotation. We have an abdominal crunch. One of my favorite things about these sort of figures is we get abdominal crunch on a figure this small. That's insane. The hips come out to the side as well as up like so. So we can go forwards on this hinge. The hinge itself rocks as well, so we can kind of bring that in so it's a little bit more natural. Out to the back like so. So you can really kind of rock that hinge in. It's on two separate pegs. There's that swinging peg and there's also a ball in there as well. So we can bring it out to the side. Again, it's tight enough, but there's no ratchets in there. I would have preferred maybe a ratchet joint. We have a knee bend. There's a knee rotation there. And then the feet are very much like what we got with the Black Mamba version, only much more secure. So they can pivot side to side, up and down. Yeah, it definitely works. And there's even left and right as well, which does make the world of difference. Extra stability there. We can just bring those hip skirts in and they can tab into the legs, but that's not an essential thing. As you can see, I've popped his hand off. That's the gripping hand. Just slides back on to the peg. But in terms of accessories, we do get this rather fetching gun for Prime, and then we get this array of different hands. Again, all done in this kind of rubbery texture. Got the open palm that can be used to support the gun. Got the grip for the second hand. Got the kind of very stoic pointing finger. And then we've got the clenched fist as well. And a quick look at the base section that we've got here as well. Got the magnets just on the inside there. It's kind of done in this kind of coffee wash, I guess. And all of these are connection points, so you can add different base panels on there as well. What's mad about this figure is that I don't know where he's going to fit in my collection, but I haven't put him down. He is one of these pieces that I've picked up and I've played with since I've got him. I think the last figure I really did that with was the Sentinel pen version of Optimus Prime. Do you remember that? I used to just constantly transform him up and mess around with him and just pose him in different displays. In fact, the actual build quality on this is very reminiscent of something that Sentinel would have built. Really great piece. One of mine's on the way out now. Although one's obviously on the way out there, we do have LED features on this. We can open up the chest and this section folds upwards. And you can see under there we've got these two buttons. Those are the LED features there, so let's pop that off. Here we go. Oh dear. Right, there we go. Pop that back in. Pop this in, pop this in. There we go. It's nice to have the feature on there, but like I said, my batteries are on the way out. Now I'd like to talk you through the transformation. It's different. First thing you'll notice is, look, I've popped the back panel off. That's actually a thing. The back panel comes off. That is parts forming. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to like parts forming. Personally, I don't know, it doesn't bother me a great deal, but we have to be aware that that is part and parcel. See, that's how it is as standard, which is okay, isn't it? You know, but we pop this piece off, and this is going to form the front of the cab. So these are going to come out. This comes out and tabs in like so. This comes round. This comes out and tabs in like so on there. And this is going to flip and reverse like this, and that's going to form the front part of the truck. Now, please excuse me, I've tried to figure the transformation out myself. We don't have any instructions with these as per usual with samples, so forgive me if I get something wrong compared to what you actually see in the instructions for the final product. But I move the head down and his arms are going to come backwards. But before we do that, we need to open up the chest like so. Open up, and this is going to come upwards like so, and this is going to come around like this. This is going to come around like this. This panel is now going to push, and that's going to slide inside the chest, allowing these windows to come all the way to the front. You can now tilt the head back, bring the arm inwards like so, and this panel is going to come across, and this piece here will come over to the side as well, and they're going to push, bend the waist down, untab these panel pieces, and untab the panel piece, bring this piece down, allowing for room for the fists to swing in, push and close that off. And this is going to be much like we have with the kind of G1 style toy. Rock that in on that hinge like so. That's going to sit inside that void, and then this panel is going to open up like so. So that's now going to form the side of the cab. Rotate this panel all the way around like so, so it's now facing the front, and in that void that we've created by moving these down, we can now bring these sections in, and as you can see there, they're going to form the side of the truck. Bring the crotch plate down, bring the hip skirts down and down like so, bring this panel all the way down to the base, and this piece here is going to come in, and that's going to hook, push and secure that into position. And then there's a lot going on with these legs. Okay, so open up this back panel piece first. This piece here is going to open up. Be careful because this hinge is quite a loose hinge, not actually attached, it's more kind of pegged in than anything else. This piece here is going to lift, he says. Let's have a look. That's going to come out, and that's going to rotate, and that will extend. There's lots and lots of hinges going on here. This here is going to come out like so. That's going to form the tyre piece that will come around and go around like so. So that's going to wrap itself up and around this wheel panel. And to do that, you need to rock it down on this hinge, bring it up, and you've got these extra hinges here which twist and turn, which allow this piece to go in. This needs to rotate around like so. What a stiff piece that is. This is going to come up, and so using those double hinged knee panels, that goes over, and then that's going to come in like this, and then this panel here is going to straighten up like this, and then you'll know that you're there when this latches, this piece here latches over this piece here. So just a little push, there we go, we're latched in. That's fine. This is where it becomes a little bit more difficult. This is going to separate. Really is stiff. There we go. Done it first time. This time it took me ages with the other foot. And it's going to rotate. And of course it's going to rock down. And that's going to form the inside of the leg. You see this peg here? That corresponds with the tab. This is going to rock inwards, rock that down to fill in the curvature of the leg. That's going to push, come on, oh there we go, tab and secure. These are going to collapse like this, and the bottom piece is going to come in and down like so, and then of course these two pieces are going to marry up, tab in nicely. This front panel piece should, he says, line up and push and tab in on here, and then all that's left for me to do is straighten up these back panels, I believe, and then pop our front grille piece back on. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that is it. That's finished now. I mean, we have the rubber tires, everything does kind of roll. There's minimal clearance, but it rolls nonetheless. I can't get this side to tab in cleanly. I don't know if it's something I've done. Like I said, I'm going blind with these. Could be that I've mistransformed something, but it still looks the part. I think there's still a really kind of nice look to it. Not too sure about this piece. Would have liked maybe these to have been able to split as well, like we did with the toes, and fold a section out. These bits here, Now, when you put this bumper section in, they actually have to hook on behind this wheel piece here. So rather than pushing against this, I put a screwdriver just in here. So we're pushing against the screwdriver instead, so it didn't damage the plastic at all. It's easier to describe when you're watching it and you have the figure in hand, but these have small hooks on and this piece needs to tab into it. So you need to kind of support it from behind. But that's it. That's Prime done up in his vehicle mode. Isn't he diddly? Quick scale for vehicle mode. That's Legendary Toys version of the MPM-04 Optimus Prime. We're getting towers over him. But that is Studio Series long haul. That scale's actually not that bad because these dump trucks are absolutely massive in reality. And looking at the cab size and the door size, that's actually not that bad at all. I mean, we're looking at just shy of 5 inches in length. That's about 12.5 centimeters. So this already is a very small piece. The cab, he's a little over 2 and a bit inches tall, again around the 5.5 centimeters in height. So it is a small piece. So there we have it, Lemon Tree Optimus Prime. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Huge thanks to Heat Toy for making this review possible. Again, this is a pre-production sample, so final products may vary slightly, but fingers crossed it's not going to change that much. Maybe just get those small tabs to tab in a little bit better, but all in all, it's a good figure. It does exactly what it kind of needs to. Yes, there is parts forming for the transformation, but I think to pick up, hold, pose, play with, this figure has that kind of play value. I'm not scared of anything breaking on it. Just be careful still. You have to remember these are still aimed at adult collectors, so we still need to bear that in mind when transforming things. But I managed to muddle through, and I'm not exactly the best at these transformations. So thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives to watch my content. And until next time, myself and the rest of the collectibles household, thanks for watching. Goodbye.